In this video, we discuss mathematical expressions when querying records. So just like with math, we can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division when performing queries. Now we can either have each one of these mathematical expressions occur between multiple columns, or we can just interact with one column. So for example, if I wanted to show all products and their price increased by 10%, let's say that I wanted to get kind of an estimate of what this would look like, I could just say select product ID price and then price times 1.1 from product. Now this doesn't actually increase the price, but it will give me a view of what it would look like if we did increase the price. So here I am back at the server. I'm going to go ahead and run this query, and we can see that we have the product ID, the price, and then we have the price times 1.1. So it's increased by 10% for all of these products. The next thing we're going to discuss are aliases, which specify an alternative column or table name for a specific query. For example, when we ran the previous query, it had a column name of price times 1.1, which is not very useful. So we can actually give this new column a new name and say as increase in this case. Additionally, we can use table aliases. So if we were asked to show the customer whose name is Home Furnishings, I can give an alias of C right after the table name and then use the table alias in front of each one of these column names. Now this doesn't really make sense why we do this when we're selecting from one table, but when we get to talking about joins, it'll make more sense why we would use a table alias. Now these aliases that we do create do not persist across multiple queries. They only work within the statement that we are running at that point. So here I am back at the server. I'm going to go ahead and run this second query, and we see that the column name has changed from price times 1.1 to increase. All right, additionally, here's the query with the table aliases. If I run this, you'll see that we still get the same results that we'd expect if we didn't have the table alias included. So now what I want you to do is this learning activity. So try these three queries on your own, pause this video, and then come back and compare your answers. All right, welcome back. So here we are at the server. I've copied over the three questions. I'm just going to comment out the questions. And this first one asks us to show the quantity plus 2 for all order lines. So let's go ahead and look at the ERD, and we see that order line has a quantity column. So what I'm going to do is select the quantity plus 2 from the order line table. And we run this, and we can see that the quantity has increased by 2. If I wanted to actually do a column comparison, I can include quantity and quantity plus 2, and we can see that the quantity has increased by 2 for each one of those order lines. All right, this next one asks us to show the price per foot for all raw materials. So let's go ahead and look at the entity relationship diagram, and we see that raw material has a price, and then foot we're going to use width. So let's go ahead and select price, and then we're going to divide that by width, which will give us the price per foot. And then let's give this an alias, as it says in the question, of price underscore per underscore foot. And this is going to come from the raw material table. We go ahead and run this, and we can see the price per foot for every material. And if I wanted to include more information, such as the material ID itself, then I could run that in the query, and then we can see how much it costs per foot for each one of those materials. All right, so this next query asks us to show all customer addresses as one field, and then set the alias for the column as address. So let's go to the entity relationship diagram, and we see that we have 4 parts of the address, which are going to be street, city, state, and zip code. So to do this, I'm going to select, and to combine all 4 of these fields into one, I'm going to use the concat command, and then I'll just put a comma separated value of all the address pieces. And I'll select this from the customer table, and then we're asked to give this an alias of address. So watch what happens when I run this query. We have all the addresses merged together. Now we probably want to structure this so that it looks a little bit better. So let's go ahead and add between street and city a space, and then after city let's add a comma and a space, and then after state let's add a space. We'll go ahead and run this, and now the addresses look a lot easier to read.